This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joins us, as usual, on Mondays. We always appreciate that. Hey, Mike, how you doing today?
Doing really good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. Thank you very much. Enjoyed a weekend of a lot of football. How many games did you watch over the weekend?
Oh, man, I was stuck in this studio, and we can watch 3 at once, and then I can flip back and forth. So, geez, I don't know, 10, 12 parts of it anyway.
That was my favorite thing of interning in a sports department. Gosh, that was like 28 years ago, but it's like, so you had 3 games on at once. But like, you can't get any better than this. Didn't even have to pay to be there. It was really great.
Yeah, I wanted to watch that some of that A&M Miami game. I didn't get to watch any of it, but did you get to see any of that, Mike? How did A&M's offense look?
Well, they were okay, but they just, I don't know. A&M's A&M, guys. I mean, they got off to a great start. We're all talking about Petrino, and now they've got a loss. And I'm just telling you, I'm not sure he'll survive this. They were already mad at him, and Petrino was the solution, Well, I figure they'll both be gone next year. If they lose another one fairly early on, I think that's it. They'll come up. Aggies will come up with a way to pay that money.
He might be a great offensive coach, but he can't coach defense, can he?
That's right.
Right? Is it Baton Rouge, Tuscaloosa, or College Station? Which one of those 3 is really? Is it? You think Alabama and LSU are okay, but A&M would be kind of third in that list?
I think Alabama's got problems.
Yeah.
I've never seen them look like that, guys. It's not just that they've been going. They won a national championship in the COVID year. Then that next year they won the SEC and won the championship game, but got into the national championship game with Georgia and lost it. And then last year they didn't even make it, and now they're 1-1. When was the last time Alabama was 1-1 early in the season? But more than that, when I watch that game, I'm like, their quarterback is average. Where is their great running backs? What's with the O-line? And why is their secondary looking like that? They just looked ordinary. All these people are saying that the transfer portal is the difference, that Saban doesn't work the portal very well, that he's got all these 5 stars that he's developing, and he doesn't like to, tell a guy to leave so he can bring in somebody that somebody else has developed. I mean, I got no idea. I just know what I see, and I'm thinking maybe, guys, wouldn't it be weird? They probably won't do this, but what if Alabama Saban retired and they went after Coach Prime after 1 year at Colorado? You put him at Alabama, woo!
Oh, that'd be quite the situation. Yeah. I think with Alabama, it's about the quarterback and the offensive line more than anything. I think a lot of teams will struggle defensively against that Texas offense. Just a really great group of receivers. Ewers looks like the real deal. But Milroe, I think he throws the deep ball fine, but I think he felt pressure even before it got on him because he was expecting it, and then it was there. He spent a lot of time running for his life, and then there were other times it was like he decided to run or get out of the pocket, and he didn't necessarily need to yet. But look, this is not Mac Jones. It is not Bryce Young. It is not Tua. It's not Jalen Hurts. I think he's an impressive athlete, but I'm not ready to call him a quarterback just yet.
No. The whole experience was like, I couldn't believe I was watching Alabama. And look, I'm prejudiced because I hate Texas with a purple passion. I don't want to give them credit for anything. They're probably pretty good, but you're not going to get me to admit it. I still think they'll get in Big 12 play and somebody will beat them. Might be OU. It might be somebody like Texas Tech. They'll screw up. But I don't know. I just looked at it. I didn't look at it from Texas from the standpoint of how good is Texas. I just thought, what's wrong with Alabama?
Well, Mike, what about this Arkansas-Kent State game? Anything you would like to fix or see done better? I gave the defense another A-plus, offensive line. I don't even know what grade you give them yet, but the defense has been stellar the first 2 games.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for anything better with that defense. They're doing they've scored, I think, 14 points. They've scored 35 points off turnovers. The team has. They got like 5 interceptions, a fumble recovery. I don't know, 6 or 7 sacks, 15 thrown for lost plays. You couldn't ask for any more. Offense, I think back to that 2015 season, I saw almost the same thing when Arkansas played, who was that? That Holy Toledo, right? The Holy Toledo game. They couldn't move the ball on those guys. And Pittman talked about it. He said they're stacking the line. He said five have a hard time blocking 7 or 8. And he said they're stunning, and we're not reacting well to the stunts. Guy over you think you're going to block him, he goes to the gap left. If you try to turn and block him, then a linebacker is going to come behind and go right past you. So you got to get that down. I will say that at halftime they came back and ran the ball better. The difference in that game over the season opener was they didn't throw the ball very well in the first half, and they threw it overall less. I think Pittman had the attitude, let's run it. Let's show we can run in this game, and then they couldn't initially and tried to throw it. And KJ was a little bit off in the first half, better in the second half. But I look at OU, they just railroaded Arkansas State, and then they struggled against SMU in game 2. You just can't look and compare games from one week to the next. I think a lot of people were looking at that, what Central Florida did to Kent State and going, well, come on. I mean, they scored 56 points. We scored 28. That's terrible. But you just can't do that. I mean, the last team to win 11 games at Arkansas, they had an early season game where they struggled. So it happens.
I think another aspect of that first week for Kent was that the UCF running quarterbacks rushed for over 100 yards, and the Arkansas offense didn't really get moving until KJ started running a little bit more. Do you think that this is an offense that will need KJ to run as often as he has the last 2 years? Because Sam Pittman has talked quite a bit about him not running as much as he has previously.
Well, this is going to get interesting because based on what he said after the game, he doesn't like that. All we heard through last spring and into August was he's going to run less. We want to protect him. We're going to develop him as a passer. But what did he say after he ran into a couple of guys and they were hurt? And he likes that. And he was asked about it. And he said when he got hit that first time, he went, okay, now I'm KJ. And so it was almost like what he's saying is you're asking me to be somebody I'm not. And what do? Do they eventually just give in and say, yeah, but they're in a better position if he gets hurt? I mean, they got a good backup this year. So for me, I just say, okay, if you think you need to peel out of there and take off, do it. Because the fans love it. They love it when he just railroads somebody, bam, and he gets up and the guy's laying there, like he's been hit by a truck.
It's very true. It just comes with growing up a little bit because once you get the first down when you're playing against LSU and that D-back comes and hits you, and then now KJ's hurt, he's laying down like he's been hit by a truck.
Exactly.
So that's the thing.
Logic dictates you don't do that. You don't go against what your coaches want. But your brain tells you, that's not me. I'm doing this.
That's very true. He's a competitor, and when the competitive juices get flowing, which it looks good. You're right, Mike. I mean, those are some of our best plays, and we're going to need those plays when we're playing in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's something that I don't have to deal with. I don't know what you do in a coaches meeting about going to him and saying, look, man, you got to stop this. That's up to Pittman ultimately, but I'd say, okay, as long as you don't
get
do it all the time.
Get that first down and get down. Yeah, get the first down and get down. That's how you, unless you're going to give a little shake, which he doesn't really do a lot of shake. You're right. Once he gets going, he's a bowling ball going through there.
Maybe you say, take a look at who you're about to run into. If it's a linebacker, get down. If it's a cornerback, run over him. Let him get his thrill.
Defensively, they've played really well. And you'd hit on the 2 interception returns for touchdowns. They've come from your linebacking core. I do like what you see from the linebacking core. Defensive line has been mostly solid. I guess Kent State, you're not going to see an offense that does the sort of stuff that they did, which is sit on the ball and not huddle and then snap it with about 3 or 4 seconds left on the play clock. You're just not going to see anybody that does that again. So does this last Saturday feel like a one-off game just based on the opponent?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm looking at this week. You're talking this week about a team that's averaging 70 yards rushing a game. So the Arkansas defensive game plan has got to be go after this quarterback because they're all passing. That's what they do. BYU. So you got to go after their quarterback. And I don't think when you don't have to worry much about their running backs in their running game, I think you can do more of that. So there's that change. Now the big issue is, what does BYU do? What does their defense do? Do they look at these two games and go, okay, we're going to flood the box, we're going to stunt, we're going to do all that same stuff? I don't know. But if they do, I think you'll see Arkansas go quickly to the air again, because that's what you do, guys. I mean, if a team is trying to put you in a situation where there's more people to block than you have people to block with, that means somebody's vacating an area. Take that tight end, Luke Haas, and just float him into some of those areas that are wide open and pick them to death with 8 and 10-yard passes if you have to.
That was going to kind of be my next question, Mike. Tesla has really impressed me. Satania's impressed me a little bit. I think we need to find a way to get him the ball when he's a receiver. But Tesla catches everything. Who's impressed you so much of our pass catchers?
I like Armstrong, too. And like I said, I like Oz. They're not throwing it to him enough. I mean, this guy catches everything that's thrown in his direction, and he's usually wide open. So, and you got to make people cover him. But I like the passing game, and I honestly think it got better in the second half. I just think what happened in the first half was KJ was a little off, overthrew a couple of passes, then underthrew one, and then you had at least one drop that I can remember. They just kind of were non-focused, but then you get in at halftime and everything. I thought they were a lot better, even running the ball in the second half. So, I remember that 2015 team, when they had that win in Oxford, and I think Ole Miss was in line if they won that game to go to the SEC championship game. Maybe my memory's foggy, but they had a lot on the line. Mm-hmm. And Arkansas beat them, and we're talking to Arkansas fans in the parking lot. Nobody's talking about that Toledo game. They don't care about it. It's what you're doing, when SEC play starts.
That's right. We're 2-0. We're 2-0.
Yeah.
And going off of 2 games, it's like, Mike, last year after 2 games, I expected Arkansas was going to be a physical team that could run the ball whenever they wanted to. And then the Missouri State game happened. It's like they got punched in the mouth, down 17-0, had to scratch and claw their way back and pulled off the win and didn't get upset. And then it turned out that they might not have been the team that I thought they were in the first 2 games. You base your opinion off of a team off of just 2 games. Look, I understand you can only go by what you have. But when it's just the first 2 games of the season, man, you got another 10 to go. And truthfully, I think, I can't get into their mindset or anything, but just the way that Sam has rotated some of the linemen on offense and the way they came out against Kent State, I can't help but think that in their mind, these first 2 games were almost preseason.
Oh, absolutely. Players they'll tell you, we respect these guys. We know they can beat us. What's in your head? What are you not saying, when you're walking around all week long? When they look at the fact that Central Florida just curb stomped these guys, what's in your head? You're not thinking, oh, man, these guys are really good. We might not be able to block them. You're not thinking that.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.